Hey guys, thank y'all for hopping on. I have had a lot of questions this morning about how I've been reaching out to people, like what do I say, how I've been reaching out to so many people, and also questions about hunting versus farming, because we definitely want to be farmers and not hunters, right? We want to plant seeds and then nurture those seeds, and eventually there comes a harvest. We don't want to be hunters. We don't want to be pushy. We don't ever want to find ourselves in convincing mode. That is not what I do. I do not convince people. I don't plead with people. I do not push people. And I don't think that is the correct way to get a recruit or a sale or whatever you want to call it. Okay. I think it's super important to focus on the relationship. And as you do that, you add value to people. And if nothing else, you have a new friend. Okay. If you do this the right way. And so I'm just going to give you some examples of some people that I've reached out to just over the past week. Like, these are brand new contacts. Most of them are totally cold market. Like, I've never met them. A few of them I have friended on Facebook, and I've kind of turned them into a warm market by commenting on their posts. And then once they comment or like one of my posts, then I know I have rapport with them. And so I can just go ahead and reach out, and I'll show you how I do that. But I find people from Facebook all over the place. And I'm going to give you lots of examples. I know it helps me a ton to have solid examples. Mute everybody. It helps me so much to have solid examples, like written out, like this is exactly what I say. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. If you have a question, please ask, because if you are wondering something, I can almost guarantee you a lot of other people are too. Can you guys see this? Nod your head if you can see my little screenshots here. Y'all see that? Okay. I wonder if I can still see the chat while I'm screen sharing, because I don't see the chat. Okay, so if you have a question, you're just going to have to unmute, okay? Make sure that your question is edifying to everybody, right? We don't want any negativity or anything like that. But if you have a question that you think other people would have too, or something that's going to help you, please ask. Okay, so this is somebody that I have no clue where I connected with this girl at. She's just somebody who liked my post on Facebook. She may have commented, but I noticed she liked one of my posts. And so if you're not keeping track of who's liking and commenting on your post, you're missing out on a huge opportunity there, because if they're engaging with you, they probably like you. You probably have rapport with them, okay? So I always reach out to people who like my posts that are non-Plexus, and it's pretty easy to figure out who's a Plexus person. I do get a lot of Plexus people engaging on my posts, which I'm so grateful for, because it gives me credibility and adds validity to what I'm doing and saying, and also it helps my post show up in my friends' news feeds because I get engagement. So I'm super thankful for my Plexus friends that comment and engage on my posts. But I'm looking for people who are non-Plexus. And the way I tell is I will just, a lot of times you can just tell by what your mutual friends are. So if I click on a person and it shows up, you have 54 mutual friends, and one is Cody Helmer, who lives, 10 states away from me, and the other one is Alita Allen, who's an Emerald in Plexus. Like, I know that's like all of our mutual friends are Plexus people. That's a Plexus person. So if I'm looking and I have several friends in common with them that are from different states and they're all Plexus people, that's probably a Plexus connection. But if I don't have a lot of mutual friends with them, or if I do have a lot of mutual friends with them, but the mutual friends are all like local people or something like that, then I know that this is a non-Plexus person. Okay, so this was a non-Plexus person. I just said, hey, Chelsea, thank you for liking my post. I really appreciate that. I'm really curious, what do you do? And she says, well, right now I'm a stay-at-home mom. Awesome, me too. How long have you been a stay-at-home mom? So this is me just trying to build a connection with her and just figure out, who is she? Like, what does she do with her time? What are her pain points, and how can I solve a problem for her? This is me like making a statement and connecting with her and relating to her, and then asking a question to get to know her better. Now, I may or may not end up recruiting this person, and that's totally fine. Worst case is I end up with a new friend, okay? Guys, Titus, Hannah, you guys got to be quiet, okay? Sorry. Okay, so she says she's been a stay-at-home mom for 2 weeks now. And so I say, nice. How are you enjoying that? How many kids do you have? I am enjoying it. I have 2 kids. How old are they? 3 and 6 and wide open. And I'm like, I hear you, because I have a 3-year-old and I have a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old, and a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So I know exactly what she's talking about when she says they're wide open. And so I'm like, I have a bunch of littles myself. We have 5 kids. So what made you decide to become a stay-at-home mom? And she says, I lost my job. In the last couple of years, I haven't really had a chance to spend the time with them that they need. Being a single mother, things have been extremely rough. So you guys know what I'm automatically thinking. I have solutions to her problems, okay? This is not me trying to sell her. This is me trying to help her, because I know that I have something that could be a total blessing to her and her little children. You guys have heard of Abby Kappa, right? She's the youngest diamond in Plexus, and she was a single mother when she started this. At just 23 years old, she's a diamond in this company, and she has changed her family's financial future forever, okay? And so do you think that would change this girl's life? Absolutely. And so I'm not going to focus on, oh, how do I get her? How do I get her? I'm trying to, like, figure out how I can help her. So this is me. My response is I'm relating to her, okay? I've been a single mom before too, so I know how that girls. It definitely is the toughest job ever. Sorry to hear about you losing your job. Have you thought about ways to make some money from home? And I'm not exactly pitching her. This is me just asking her questions just to kind of see if she's open. Yes, sir? No, not right now. Go play. Okay. And then she says, not right now I haven't, I probably need to. Okay, so she's open, all right? So I say, well, if you're open, then I could show you how. I'm making a 6-figure income, and I've built my business through Facebook, and anyone can do it. Okay, now let me just stop right here and say, first of all, I don't say if you're interested. I say if you're open. I think that word is better, because the opposite of open is closed. So if you're saying, if you're open, nobody wants to be closed, right? And so it makes a big difference. Just that one little tweak can make a big difference in someone's mindset, okay? So if you're open, I could show you how. I'm making a 6-figure income. So I want you guys to know I got to Emerald without ever saying I make a 6-figure income. That is true for me now. But it was not always true for me, and I didn't have to have that in order to validate what I am saying. And I'm going to show you an example in a little bit about how I use other people's stories to validate what I'm saying. If I don't have my own story, I share other people's stories, because the goal is to connect and relate. And I'm not going to be able to connect and relate with every single person, right? I'm just not going to have that with every single person. So I'm trying to focus on what I do have in common with them, and then I can share stories. I have like a mental Rolodex of stories, success stories with the products and the opportunity that I can share with people. Oh, hey, babe. My husband just walked in. That's an unexpected surprise. And today's our anniversary. Yay. All right, so I'm going to have to make this quick. Okay. So anybody can do it. I use the internet to build my business, what I'm telling her. If you're open, I can let you check it out. If not, no big deal. This is me being a friend, not being pushy, and not putting pressure on her, okay? Because if she's not interested, like, I'm looking for people who are open and interested. That's who I'm looking for. I'm not in the business of trying to convince everybody who's not interested. That's not what I do. I'm looking for people who are open-minded and who will just take a few minutes and listen to what I have to say, okay? So this is me not putting pressure on her, but just kind of just putting it out there. Hey, if you're like, I've done it. I know a lot of people who've done it. Anybody can do it. You open to hearing about it? If not, that's cool. So that's how I've reached out to that girl. She said, I'm not really sure. I've never did anything like that. What would I have to do? So she's curious. Okay, so this lets me know she's open. This is not a hard no. This is not, I'm not interested. She's saying, I'm not sure. She needs more information. All right. So the hardest part was building rapport with her and just having a conversation. Now I know that she's open, she's curious, she's interested, she's wondering, can I do this? Like, it sounds too good to be true. Like, that's probably what she's thinking. So then I say, if I sent you a quick video, would you watch it? It would explain a lot. So a lot of people want to know, okay, oh, they're open. Now what do I do? So this is about the opportunity. So depending on what the situation is going to depend on what tool I use. In this case, she wants to know, what does this opportunity involve? Like, is this something that I actually want to participate in? And so I sent her the comp plan video, the Plexus one, and I think it shows it on the next screen. I'm not sure. So I said, if I would you, this is a really good wording, if I would you, because it's almost like, if I do something for you, would you do something for me in return? It's kind of like asking them a favor almost, like you're saying, I do this, like you scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of thing. So if I would you, and of course she said, yeah, I'll watch it. She's open to watching it. All right. Okay. So here's the video I sent, Your Guide to the Plexus Compensation Plan. It's like 10 minutes long, but it has a lot of the top earners in the company just explaining the 11 different ways that we get paid. It's not real in-depth with a ton of numbers, but it's enough to pique somebody's interest to see if this is a good fit for them or not. Okay, and if this business ends up not being a good fit for her, I'm going to at least talk to her about the products, okay? And eventually, I mean, we can talk more about the business. But right off the bat, if she's saying, well, I'm just not interested in doing that, then I'm not gonna like try to force it on her or plead with her or convince her. I'm not gonna do like, oh my gosh, no, you'd be so good at it. Like, I don't know her enough to even say that honestly. So that's not what I'm gonna do. All right. So then I put the tool in there. And I say, how soon do you think you can watch? So I don't say, when do you think you could watch? I say, how soon? Because how soon kind of puts a sense of urgency on it, and it will be the difference between someone saying, I'll watch it tonight after I get the kids in the bed, and then them saying, I'll watch it next Thursday. Because it just makes it some more urgent when you say how soon. Like, it just makes a big difference in the sense of urgency. All right, so that was the first girl. This is an example of how I handle objections, okay? So this is somebody, now this girl I have been connecting on Facebook with for probably several months now, just commenting on her posts. She comments on mine, things like that. Yes. What happened? Anyway, so I do have some rapport with her. And so I just reach out. Not about Plexus right off the bat. I'm just having a conversation with people, being a friend. Yes, sir. What can I help you with?
Now can I have turn?
No, don't ask me that again, okay? Until I get done recording this video. Sorry. Okay. Are you guys all ready for, thank you for liking my post. You guys all ready for Christmas? Because I've had a conversation with her before about homeschooling and stuff like that. Not about Plexus, but I noticed she was liking my post a lot. And then she said, almost finishing up a few things after Blue Books tomorrow and getting the box. That's a CC thing, a homeschooling thing. And then I'll be ready. Hey, turn that down. Hannah, turn it down. And so I said, awesome. We finished Blue Books last week. This is me having a conversation with her about things we have in common, me relating to her. And then I just went right into it. I noticed you liked a few of my Plexus posts, so I was just curious. You ever thought about trying it? And she said, I have a friend that has added me to her testimony groups. I'm definitely intrigued by the product, but the expense is prohibitive for me. So now, if somebody has been working closely with this girl, I'm not going to try to take this girl away. But I also know that I have had lots of people who you know, like somebody has shared with them about Plexus before, but in their mind they're thinking it's too expensive. Well, that person obviously doesn't know how to overcome that objection. So they're just going to let their friends sit there and think that it's too expensive, I can't afford it, without showing them that there's an opportunity, one, to get your products paid for, or two, if you truly can't afford it, then you need the opportunity. You need to know how to make some money, right? So that you can afford the products that you need. Okay. And so I'm not going to, if somebody is working close with her, I'm not going to try to take her away. But at the same time, somebody could have just mentioned it to her before, and then they didn't know how to handle her objection. And so they just dropped the ball on the follow-up, which is fair game. And so I care about this lady, and I know she needs these products, and clearly she needs the opportunity. So I'm going to share that with her. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I understand that for sure, because I was in the same boat. Because I was. Before Plexus, the cost was kind of steep for me. It was definitely something I had to talk over with my husband and try to figure out how to fit into our budget and things like that. So now it's just a given. We order our products. It's in our budget every single month. It's just a non-issue. So I said the work from home opportunity with Plexus has changed our life. Have you ever considered doing something to supplement your income? Notice I did not say, I don't know, I might have said that later. Okay. Have you ever considered doing something to supplement your income? So this is me reaching out about the opportunity. And she says, I've done direct sales type of things with products that I love, and it's just not for me. I'm terrible at it, and usually end up costing is way more than I make. I think that's a typo. I'm not even joking. I really have tried to make enough to cover my own purchases, and I just do not have that talent. Okay, so she thinks this is a talent. And I promise you it's not a talent. It's a skill that anybody can learn, because it took me a long time to learn these skills, guys. I wasn't really good at it at first. I had to learn through failing forward a lot how to get good at this. But the key is to learn. That's the key, and to not give up, because anybody can learn these skills, guys. If I can do this, anybody can do this. So I said, you sound just like me. I have the same story, because I really do. I'm telling you, I was not good at this at first. And I did do other things in sales before. And I lost money because I'm not great at sales. I'm not like a huge salesperson. She talks about at one point in our conversation that she's a socially awkward introvert. Hello, that's me. But Facebook has changed everything, and on top of that, I'm willing to learn, and she could learn too if she wanted to. But I'm not going to push her. Just watch how I gently talk to her about this, because this is me trying to relate to her again. Like, I know what you mean, because I did another direct sales business and I lost money on that endeavor because I'm not a salesperson. I've learned that network marketing is a set of skills that can be learned. I live in a teeny town in the middle of nowhere with one red light, so I don't know many people. Scroll on down here. I've learned how to use internet marketing to grow my business. So, and that is a very true statement, because most of the people that have joined me, they're not in my town. So there's not many people that live in my town. I've recruited, I don't know, 70, 80 people or something like that. Guess how many live in Ludowici? 3. My mom, my mother-in-law, and my best friend from church. Okay. So this is not about like where you live at, or if it's saturated where you live at, or anything. Facebook has like over 1 billion users. You're not going to run out of people. All right. The thing is, most people just give up too easily. So anyways, live in a teeny tiny town. Don't know many people. I've learned how to use the internet to grow my business, and anyone can learn how to do that with a supportive upline and good training. That makes a difference. Do you care about people and have integrity? Those are the 2 main things that I look for when determining if this is a good fit, and that's why I reached out, because I can tell that this lady cares about people and she has integrity. And so notice I'm kind of using, I'm looking at this lady thinking, what qualities does she have? And I'm telling her, do you have these qualities? Because this is how I determine if somebody's good at it, okay? And that might change depending on who I'm talking to. Now, obviously, I want people to care about people and have integrity. But what if somebody had a great personality and people are drawn to them? Then I would say that. Or if I said, are you willing to work hard and learn? Because if you have those two qualities, then you can make this work. You know, like, I just look at people and I observe what are this person's good qualities, because anybody really can do this. We have successful people in this company from all different types of personalities and skill sets, whatever, and anybody can do this, even a socially awkward introvert who lives in the middle of nowhere like me. Okay, so here she says, I really am not up for being burned again. It's not that the business model is bad. I am just not cut out to work it. Sales and recruiting. Socially awkward introvert. I just don't think I can risk it again. Okay, so she's not opposed. She's not like she has a bad taste for MLM. She knows that they work, and she's excited for people that are successful at it, but here her issue is belief. She doesn't think she can do it, and I know that she can. So I'm not going to give up on her, but I'm not going to push her at the same time. I'm just gently, like, kind of asking more questions. So I said, I understand that totally, and I promise you I'm not going to push you. But I'm just curious, what company were you with before? Did you have to have inventory or something? So she's saying, what did she say right here? She couldn't cover enough to make her own products. She really not up for being burned again. So what probably happened, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, she lost a lot of money. That means she must have had to have inventory, because like with Plexus, it would be nearly impossible to lose money, because number one, we don't have to buy inventory. Number two, we have a 60-day money-back guarantee, so it would be nearly impossible to lose money. So she was probably in a sales business, a party business, where she had to do parties all the time, and she had to have inventory on hand. She had to invest a lot of money to get started, and she didn't make any money, so she never had a return on her investment, things like that. Those are all the things that she probably dealt with. Well, with Plexus, there's none of that. $34.95 is what it costs to get started. You don't have to do parties, and you don't have to have inventory. So there's no way she's going to get burned. Worst case for her is she uses some products and pays for some products that change her life. Okay, so that's the worst thing that's going to happen in this case. And so I want to know, like, what her experience was and why did she fail at it? Because I've had that experiences too, and I can tell you why I failed at each one. And so I'm trying to figure out how I can help her. Okay, so here's what she says, and I was right. She did Mary Kay a long time ago, party business, got to have a ton of inventory. A lot of people that I talked to that used to do Mary Kay lose money because of that. You got to buy a ton of inventory. I love the products. I don't want to sell them. More recently, I worked with a brick and mortar company because I love their product, and I decided that I could not live without it any longer. So I hinged a program to work with them for 3 months to earn my rainbow vacuum for free. And that's a great product. Granted management was bad, but I missed my goal by like a week. I do have my vacuum, but I'll be paying for it for a while. I really worked myself to death on that one. It was a big defeat to not make it. I'm terrible at fundraisers for my kids. Basically, if it involves selling, I don't move much product. She sounds a lot like I sounded 5 years ago. So I know that I can help her. Sales is not something that comes natural to most people, but it is a skill that can be learned. It's a skill, just like riding a bicycle. Most people don't naturally just hop on a bicycle and run the first time either, right? Anybody have toddlers that just, on the first time they ever got on a bicycle, they went and just started doing it automatically? Probably not. But you might have a few that have. I have 5 kids, and I don't have any that did that automatically. Or walk. Toddlers, like, what if a toddler started trying to walk and they fell and they even bumped their head a few times, got burned? It's very likely that some toddlers could fall and crack their head open on the fireplace or something like that. That would be devastating. But does it mean that they're just not cut out for this walking business? No, absolutely not. You get up and keep going, and you just have to try. And you learn, right? You just don't give up. You just keep going, and you'll learn, and you can get good at it. All right. So here's my response to that. Wow, I can totally relate to those stories because I failed at a few business endeavors myself. So I know the feeling. Did you have a supportive upline and excellent training with Mary Kay and Rainbow? This is just me being curious. I'm not pushing her. She's being open to telling me her experience, and sometimes you have to know when to quit with people. And that takes discernment. You don't ever want to be in convincing mode or pushing anybody. I don't try to convince or push. I just ask questions and share my perspective. Ask questions and share my perspective, but not in a pushy way, just in a loving way. And since I have failed so many times, I can relate to a lot of people, right? And also, you need to look for people who are like you. So these people that I'm talking to, most of them are stay-at-home moms or something like that. I look for people that I have something in common with and try to build a relationship with them. Because like I said, if they never ended up joining me, what's the worst that's going to happen? I have a new friend to talk to. We add value to each other. And so that is the business that I'm in. Like, this business adds value to me as well. Okay. So that was the last thing I've said to her. That was this morning. So, okay, this is a lady. I was on Robert Kiyosaki's page, and I don't know if y'all know who he is, but if you don't, you need to. He wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. He also wrote Cash Flow Quadrant, and he is a financial guru. He's up there with Dave Ramsey. So you definitely need to read his books if you haven't, because changed my whole entire thinking about money and things like that. So I was on his page. I saw this lady's comment, and I could tell she was smart and looked like somebody I'd like to work with or at least get to know better. And so I'm just having conversations with people. I just strike up a conversation and ask questions to see if they have a need I can meet. So here we go. Hey, Bonnie, saw your comment on the Kiyosaki page. You seem pretty sharp. What is it that you do? All right, I love this question because guess what usually happens? This is what usually happens. What do you do? And so I'm so glad you asked, right? All right, so here's what she says. Thank you. I'm an RN, but not the typical RN, LOL. I'm more on the natural side of health, and I used to work with medicine men on the reservation. She's talking about Indian guys. So that lets me know she thinks outside the box, okay? She's not like into Western medicine and stuff like that. I'm about to leave the corporate world to help others change their lives, namely their health and finances. What do you do? All right, so this right here is clear as a bell. She's a network marketer, okay? And she's a successful network marketer, and that is, she is about to leave the corporate world to help others change their lives. You guys know of any other industry that allows people to do that? Leave their corporate job so that they can go change people's lives? Not usually, okay? Her network marketing business has allowed her to pursue something that she really loves, okay? She's leaving the corporate world. So I know automatically she's a network marketer. I'm not going to try to steal her from a company that she is happy and successful with. I'm now going to talk to her about the products. I'm going to congratulate her on her success, validate what she's doing because I 100% believe in it, and I'm going to talk to her about our products because if she's natural-minded like that, she's going to love our products. So here's what I say. That's amazing. I'm so excited for you. Yes, I hear you about the natural side of things. Same here. Very much into natural health. I do pretty much the same thing, help others change their health and finances. I became a top earner in the company in a year, and I love it because I can do it while also homeschooling my 5 kids. What company are you with? I'm with Trinant. I've never heard of that company. You? I'm with Plexus. How long you been with Trinant? I think Cindy Ellsworth was with Plexus. Do you know her? Doesn't ring a bell. Do you ever have customers? Now she's asking me for tips. Do you ever have customers who want more of your health products but think they can't afford it? And I said, yes, plenty. But I've learned how to overcome that objection. What kind of products does your company have? And then she says, literally everything. Financial, tax, credit, legal health, blah, 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 blah. You name it, we have it. Never been done in the history of network marketing before. We are so blessed. And then she says, what products does Plexus have? I was thinking I saw the video a few years ago, and if it's the same company, the products looked awesome. So I said, that sounds pretty cool, Bonnie. More and more companies are choosing the network marketing model because it works. I love it. Plexus is a wellness company, and so that's me validating her company. Looks like she is doing great. And I'm super happy for her. And I'm even more happy for her that she is being so successful in this industry, because it's just a testament to the fact that this model changes people's lives, and anybody can do it. We have natural supplements that address some core issues of health that are important for everyone. As an RN, you probably already know that almost every single health issue we deal with as Americans can be traced back to the same 2 root issues: blood sugar imbalances and poor gut health. And that's exactly what our products address. How long have you been with your company? And she goes on to talk about how she got her position in January, but she just used the services to fix her credit and finances. And then she bought a dream home in April, started working the business on August 6th. Now she has the fastest growing organization in Arizona and gets to leave her job. That's amazing. So if nothing else, I would love to just have her in my life. We can pick each other's brains, right? I'd love to surround myself with successful people, because we think the same and we add value to each other. So I said, you're amazing. So excited for you. A testament to what this business model can do for people. Plexus is out of Arizona. It's in Scottsdale. So that's me relating to her. She said something about Arizona. I'm like, oh yeah, that's where my company is. And then she says, oh cool, do you come out to Arizona? I live in Tucson, but I'm in Scottsdale and Phoenix regularly. And I said, I've been there once for jewel training. It was really nice. I'm very curious. Is there a particular reason you haven't tried Plexus products before? Did no one share with you how awesome they are? And then she said, you're welcome to send me info. I always keep an open mind. That's what I'm looking for. Just somebody to be open. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I just want them to be open. If they're open to what I have to say, more than likely they're going to join. And if they're not open at that point, it doesn't mean they're not open forever. But I'm not going to try to convince them to be open. I'm just going to put their name in my planner for a future date to circle back around to them, because circumstances change for people. And I'm going to keep going and looking for people who are open. And then she said, I just checked. That person was not from Plexus. And so she said, I said, okay, great. I think you'll be impressed, especially as a nurse who loves natural health. Now, at this point, she's commenting on my post. I posted something about people need supplements because our food supply is depleted. And she went and commented something really intelligent on there. And I was like, wow, you already sound like a Plexus ambassador. That's super impressive. You know what you're talking about. She's like, well, I am an RN. I'm like, well, most RNs don't talk that way. So she said, okay, I'll listen tonight. And then she comes back and she's like, the product seemed to target some of the issues caused when we don't digest our foods. I'd be interested to know the ingredients. So she's asking me about the ingredients. And we talk a little bit more about health, blood sugar balance, gut health, inflammation. And then I tell her about the ingredients, things that I know as a natural-minded RN she's going to be interested in, gluten-free, non-GMO. Those things are really important. I did not try to explain all the ingredients to her right then and there. I just sent her a tool. I sent her the Plexus Slim ingredient, what is that thing called? Informational sheet from the back office. That's what I sent her, because it has a list of all the ingredients and what each ingredients do and where they come from. So that's what I sent her. And I'm still in the process of following up with her. I actually have an appointment to talk to her on the phone Friday. So that's where I'm at with her. I'm in the follow-up process with all of these people. Okay, so here's another lady. Hi, Stephanie. Does anybody have any questions right now? Hold on. Let me check. Okay, I don't see any questions. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for liking my post. I really appreciate that. How many kids do you guys have? Do y'all homeschool too? And so this is somebody who's liked my post that I reach out to. And I think I connected with her from a homeschooling group. And so that's why I said, do you homeschool? And she said, yes, we know each other from CC. Well, the CC Facebook page, they have 6 kids. And I said, awesome. I love to connect with other CC moms. 6 kids, that's amazing. How old? Okay, I'm not talking about Plexus automatically. Again, I just want to have conversations with people. I want to see how I can solve people's problems. So I'm not going right. I'm just trying to get to know her. Like, I want to be her friend. But at the same time, if it comes up, if she says something that's going to trigger to me, like, I'm asking pointed questions to try to see what her needs might be. But first I'm going to get to know her, right? So she says how old her kids are. I think we might have friended after a CC post. Now I can't remember the details of how we connected. Maybe during the hurricane evacuation, we were hosting families. Okay, so there's a trigger for me right there. She was hosting hurricane families. What color personality do you think she is? Somebody please type it in the chat right now. She's hosting people from the hurricane. We had a lot of evacuees. She's hosting families that are in need. Y'all know what color personality she is? So I'm going to try to talk to her like that. Let's see what y'all are saying. Yes! Ding, 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 ding. Okay. So I'm looking for cues like that. Thank you, Michelle and Chris. You guys are both yellow, so y'all can see a yellow from a mile away, probably. You think this lady would be good at this business? We're in a helping people business. You think she'd be good at it? Absolutely. All right, so I said probably CC. I always friend people in the group who say wise things, because that's what I'm looking for. I don't just go friending random people. I'm looking for people that I would want to work with, right? Because that's the beauty of having a network marketing business is I get to choose who I hire, right? So I said I need more of that in my news feed. Haha. Do you have twins? Because I noticed her ages right here. They're the same. So this is me like paying attention to what she's saying. Like I actually listen to people. I am genuinely interested in what this girl has to say, okay? And also her Facebook posts are awesome, and I just really liked her. She said, no, one is adopted. Okay, adopted. Another trigger, like that if the hurricane evacuees didn't tell you that this person was a yellow, this right here should have, because usually it's yellows that have that deep compassion. Adopting a child like that is a really self-sacrificial thing, okay? So she's a yellow. Just the time of the year, they're the same age. Well, you seem to be rocking your business and homeschool life. I'm thrilled for you and the example you set. So I didn't even bring up Plexus, guys. She brought it up. Because this is called branding. Like, this is where branding comes in, because she noticed that, I post on Facebook and she trusts me and she likes me. She says, I'm thrilled for you and the example you set. All right. So I said, I was just curious because I've always wanted twins. I was about to be jealous. So that's me relating to her. And thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I assume you've seen my Plexus post then. Haha. Have you ever considered a home business before? She said, actually, home business brought me home from work. And since she went ahead and brought Plexus up, then I'm just going to jump right into it. That's why I said that. And I just want to know how open she is. Clearly, she's seen my post. So this is me trying to figure out where she's at in the process. Actually, home business brought me home from working in the hospital as an occupational therapist. I started a blog that ended up covering my OT salary. So I stopped working outside the home then. So she's a blogger. Emily Gibson is a Diamond Ambassador, was also a blogger, went Emerald in 6 months. Do I have something this girl needs? Yes, I do. So again, I have a mental Rolodex of stories in my head. That's because I'm always watching videos and listening to trainings and stuff like that. So I'm constantly hearing people's stories. And so when people talk to me, I'm just like, it reminds me of somebody else in this industry that has been successful at it or has had a good product story. Hey, turn that down, Hannah, please. Now we're starting a farm, which is something that I want to do. Like, that is what we aspire to do, long-term goals. I'll be running the event coordination side of things, which is exactly what we want to do. We want, like, lots of land, and we want to have a venue on there. Like, my husband would like to turn it into a hunting preserve. I would like to have a nice cabin on there to have event venues, like weddings or, just like a cabin for people to stay overnight, whatever. Just things like that. That's a long-term goal for me and my husband. So she says we're similar in that we both run home businesses. And I'm like, that's awesome. That is so impressive. What is the name of your blog? I love that you're starting a farm. My husband would love to do that. What kind of event coordination? So I'm not just talking about Plexus. I truly am interested in this girl because she's got a lot of things going on that she's been successful at. And so I have a lot that I can learn from her too. This is not about getting a sale, although I would love to work with her. She is definitely, this girl right here, dream teamer. But this is not about getting a sale. This is about adding value to people, and she's adding value to me in the process because we had a great conversation. And guys, I have made a lot of new friends in the past week or two, people that I otherwise would never have connected with, but now they're going to be my good friends, much like Chris Holtzclaw is now. Chris Holtzclaw, I had met her on Facebook, never met her in real life. She's one of my best friends to date, and you can build genuine relationships with people on Facebook. Now I get to see Chris several times a year, and we talk a lot because of Facebook. So focus on building relationships with people. Hey, Hannah, turn that down. It's too loud. Okay. We had a wedding and a carnival at our current place, something that I would love to do, right? So this girl is going to be good for me, just like I'm good for her. At the new place, we hope to develop a wedding section, but also a retreat-like convention center, which is awesome. She's a big thinker. I like this. And so we are considering in the build all different uses and laws, regulations to go with it. It's a bit out of my league right now, but I'm excited to learn. This right here, see, excited to learn. This is what I'm looking for. This is the type of person that I want on my team. If she were to join me, she'd go straight to the top because of this right here. That's what I'm looking for. My blog was City Charmer. That was when we lived in Baltimore. If you look on YouTube and put City Charmer in the search, you'll be able to find some videos still, I think. What are your goals with Plexus? So now she's interested in me, just like I'm interested in her, because she has the mindset of a successful person, and she wants to learn from people just like I do. So I said, that is so awesome, Stephanie. That's exactly what we want to do. My husband wants to buy a lot of land, hundreds of acres, turn it into a hunting reserve and event venue. That's what we would like to do in the next 10 years. Plexus will fund the operation. This is me planting a seed. I became a six-figure earner in the company in a year, and I will likely double that in the next year. So since she has a successful mindset, I can say this, because this is not, she's not going to be sitting there thinking, oh, that's for special people. I could never do that, right? This would intrigue her. So that's why I'm saying this. I don't say this to everybody. And when I was on the way to Emerald, I didn't say it to anybody because it wasn't true, but it is true now. But even though it is true, I don't say it to everybody. I'm very selective about who I would say that to. I'm going to say it to people that it would attract to me, not people that it would, because a lot of people can't conceive of that. And you just have to be a good discerner of where people are. Like if they don't have high belief in themselves or something like that, you probably don't say something like this. But you can share somebody else's success story or whatever. Do you get your kids involved in your farm endeavors? Okay, so notice how I talk about Plexus, plant a couple seeds here, and then I ask a question about her. I'm not like trying to push her or pressure her or convince her. I'm planting seeds and being interested in her as a person. That's how I do it. And then she said, this is what she immediately responds with. So what do you think was your key to succeeding with Plexus? These are questions that I ask people like all the time. If I meet somebody who is successful at anything, I mean, I don't care what it is. Marriage, like they got a great marriage. They've been married 25 years and they're clearly happy. I want to know, how'd you do that? Because most people don't do that. You know, marriage is hard. Parenting, if they've got grown kids who love the Lord and, you know, they've raised some great people, I want to know, how'd you do that? So that's where she's at. She's like, what do you think was your key to succeeding with Plexus? This is a dream teamer, guys. I'm telling you, if she ever joined me, she'd be amazing. Was Plexus your first go with self-employment? And no, I've already told you guys it wasn't. And that she's curious about that because she knows that successful people, they fail, and they fail a lot. If you guys are afraid of failure, don't be, because it's good for you. It's going to create character, and eventually it's going to create success, and you're going to be able to train your team on what not to do, okay? So don't be afraid of failure. You just fail forward. There is no success story without failure in it. Okay. Then she says, I think I saw John Maxwell spoke recently to a group of Plexus ambassadors. He's always been a role model to me. Look at this. Like, she loves John Maxwell. Guys, she's a dream teamer. Like, she already has the personal growth. She's already developed a successful person mindset. These are things I look for. My husband asked me to read his book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, before we were married. It was life-altering for us. I see your comment, Michelle. Preach. Our kids are very involved. They know we are setting this up, and if they want, they can take it over. So she's already thinking about multi-generational vision. I love that. We have odd thoughts on college. We're fine if they go to college. My husband and I both have terminal degrees, but they must run a self-sustaining business before leaving home. I never want them to think that a degree buys a good job. Rather, leadership skills, hard work, ingenuity, faithfulness, talent, hard work leads to fulfilling work, all things you probably use with Plexus. Girl, look, this is diamond. Like, I'm excited when she's talking like this. Most people don't talk like this. I want this girl on my team. But if she never joins me, I'm thankful to know her. And I'm going to make that very apparent as you see as our conversation progresses. I'm very interested in her as a person. This doesn't, at this point, doesn't make a difference to me if she joins me or not. I'm just glad to know her because this is the type of person I want to be friends with and surround myself with. Your net worth is going to be dependent on your network. And you, 5 years from now, you're going to be an average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And so you have to choose carefully who you're allowing into your inner circle. This girl right here is somebody I'd want to hang out with, that I'd want to expose my children to, her children, like just get our families together. And so she sees right here, like she's right, she's spot on right here. This is legit. This is what it takes. If you want to be successful in this business, you don't have to be a natural at it. I'm not a natural at it. This is what it takes right here. Her husband's a physician, by the way. So here I say, you have a lot of wisdom. John Maxwell has been one of the biggest mentors of my life, and I've never even met him. Yes, I saw him at Leaders Retreat in Orlando. I literally cried when he walked out on the stage. Felt like I was seeing a long-lost grandfather or something. I was right there in front, too, because I'm a jewel in the company, me planting a seed, right? This is kind of me selling myself, but not being pushy. Like, I'm going to draw her to me, okay? I'm not going to try to convince her or plead with her. I'm going to plant seeds that would attract her and not repel, okay? So I'm validating myself. I'm a jewel in the company. So I could even see his wrinkles. Now, guys, I wasn't able to say that before I was a jewel, and that's okay. I didn't have to say that. I'm still a jewel, right? I got the jewel without ever saying I'm a jewel, all right? So you can share other people's success stories, or you can share what success you've already had. Because especially if you're like gold or above, like a lot of people don't get to that point. That is success. You need to understand that an extra $1,000 a month can make a difference in somebody's life between having to file bankruptcy or not. Okay, so consider yourself successful and set yourself up. Talk about yourself like you're successful. Be proud of your accomplishment because you are on one of the fastest growing teams in the company. My entire upline, they're all diamonds. We have the best training in the company. So you're on a winning team and you can sell that. All right. Had my oldest son there with me at the John Maxwell thing, and I was so glad that he got to have that experience with me. I've read 21 Laws 4 times. That's me relating to her because I lead the book study for my team and I read it again each time. It's great stuff. I want my kids to read that one too. I love your thought-provoking questions. These sound like questions I like to ask people, and that's one of the keys to my success, I think. I'm naturally curious. I ask a ton of questions. I'm not shy to ask. I'm constantly learning and constantly growing. I've developed myself as a leader and I work hard. I love your perspective on college, and we start talking about college and just some other things that we relate to, non-Plexus related. But again, at each one, I'm planting seeds about Plexus, but I am not being pushy, okay? I love that you're training your children to be entrepreneurs. Have you always homeschooled? See, I'm still just like having a conversation with her. I'm asking questions about her and her life. And then I say, you seriously would be so fun to work with. Are you sure you don't need another opportunity in your life? Ha ha ha. So I'm kind of being funny with it, but I want this girl on my team. And then she's like, wow, I'd be so excited to see him live, and even more if my son could come. My oldest is 9 and is a huge Dave Ramsey fan. Most of his life we were trying to dig out of our debt, only became debt-free about a year ago. For my son, he was raised listening to Dave Ramsey podcasts like some kids are raised watching Sesame Street, ha ha ha. Another book you might be interested in is Thou Shalt Prosper, which is about a Jewish business guy. And she tells me all about this book. And so I can, when she's talking about Dave Ramsey and she's talking about the book, both were things I could relate to. Then she says, actually, I was paid by Calvert Homeschool to try out their product because of my blog. My husband was homeschooled and also in support of it, so here we are 6 years later. Love to bounce business ideas around with you, but can't take on Plexus. Not where I'm supposed to focus right now, but thank you for offering. All right, so that's her no, and I'm not going to push. But I can guarantee you she's going to at least end up on the products, and eventually, I mean, I'm going to keep this friendship going just because I like this girl. Eventually, she'll probably work the business, and when she does, she will be amazing. So she tells me about the book. I'm like, oh, I have that book on Audible. Haven't listened to it yet, but you've inspired me to listen to it. Love Dave Ramsey, too. As a matter of fact, Plexus allowed us to pay off my husband's $30,000 truck in 1 year. Such a blessing. So, again, planting a seed, but not pushing. Plexus is simply just a part of my life, right? It's just a part of my life. And I talk about it as such. I'm not trying to sell her, but I'm talking about my life. Like, this is me. This is what's happened. Are you still blogging? And I'm just, again, being interested in her. Look at what she did. She's like, her husband was in med school and unsure of his career path. He had her read a book, and then the book ended up being more for her than for her husband, but she couldn't afford to start a business. So she baked pies over the holidays and raised about $250, entrepreneur. With that money, she bought a domain and started the blog. That is so impressive to me, guys. That's what it takes. Grit. That's what it takes to be successful. And then she submitted something to TLC, the show Extreme Couponing, because she was a couponer. And she shared with me the audition video, which was really good. It was so yellow. She's talking about, I coupon so I can give it all away to people who are in need. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I used to be a couponer until I read Robert Kiyosaki, because she asked me, what are some business books that are your fave, all that. So this is just having a casual conversation. I plant seeds along the way. Then I figure out she lives in Georgia. She's like, oh, you live in Georgia? Later she says, we need to get together sometime. We talk about land and hunting, all that. All right, so that's where I'm at with this girl. I'm just planting seeds along the way. All these people I've shared with you so far, what's probably going to end up happening, I'm going to sell them all a 7-day trial, because even if they think they can't afford the products, then they'll probably at least buy a 7-day trial. And I'm just going to continue to plant seeds. I don't give up on people, but because I know I have something valuable to offer them, but I don't push them either. I don't convince and plead and stuff like that. So that would probably be my strategy from here, because we have a 7-day challenge coming up next week, I believe. And so I'll probably try to get them all in it. All right, this is another lady. This lady I'm not friends with on Facebook. If you notice right here, it says she accepted your request. That's because we're not connected on Facebook. But I saw a comment she made on the Matt Walsh post. I love Matt Walsh, his blog. I just think he's super sharp and he's perfectly sarcastic, and he's just my kind of humor. So he posted an article the other day about something about husbands they can love their children by loving their wives, which I totally agree with. And so I just went through and read some of the comments. Yes, sir. Can I help you? Huh? Okay, get down. Get down. I'm making a video. Go get down. I just wanted to get an iPad. I know, but I'm recording a video right now. All right, so I can't help you at this moment. No, not right now. But you can after I get off the phone. You have something all over your face. Okay. Anyway, so I saw the comments on this Matt Walsh post, and I just messaged her. So this is what I said. Hey, Nazarene, loved your comment on the Matt Walsh post about loving God first, then you know how to love your spouse, etc. That was so good. You seem really sharp. I'm complimenting her. So what do? I compliment. Like at first I tell her, here's the formula. Hi, name. This is why I'm messaging you, because I saw your comment. And you seem really sharp. Okay, so I'm going to give her a compliment. Reason why I'm messaging her, give her a compliment, question. What do you do? And I love this question because usually they ask, what do you do? Sometimes they don't, but you can still keep the conversation going. Hi, Brittany. Thank you. It's what my husband and I live by. I work with children who have special needs in schools. Okay, so That's interesting. Oh, and I say, oh, that's awesome. My brother has autism, and he's 29 years old now. So this is me relating to her. He had some great teachers growing up, and we are super thankful for them. How long have you been a teacher? My brother has cerebral palsy, and he's 23 now. He is what inspired me to work in my field. Where is your brother on the spectrum? High, low, functioning, or middle? I was an ECE teacher before becoming special ed, only been special ed for 2 years. Well, this year I'm on maternity leave, so really 1 year. So she asked me a question. She's keeping the conversation going now. She's interested in me, and I don't know this person. Like I said, we're not connected on Facebook at all. And then I said, my brother functions well and he talks well. He's just not very high IQ. What is ECE teacher? How cool. You get a year for maternity leave. You got to take a whole year off? That's great. How old is your baby? So I'm interested in her. I'm asking her questions. And then she said ECE stands for early childhood education. So preschool, yes, in Canada we get 1 year paid maternity leave. And then she says, how many children, do you have any children? And I said, that's awesome. I think here they give you about 6 to 8 weeks off paid, and that's it. I work with a teacher who is about to have a baby, and she's thankful for our company because she's getting 12 weeks off instead of 6, and she's not having to worry about the loss of income. So this is me using someone else's story. I don't have a personal story to relate to this lady. I've never had a career. So, but I know somebody who could relate to her, and so I should. This is Christina I'm talking about right here. This is Christina's story. Christina is about to have her 4th baby, and she's gonna lose pay when she takes all these weeks off to be home with her precious little baby, but she doesn't have to worry about it because she has a thriving side business that is going to meet her family's needs. So I share Christina's story. I didn't share my own. And I said, we have 5 kids. And we homeschool. How long have you been teaching? Are you missing it, or are you enjoying your break? So this is me trying to figure out, I'm asking questions to figure out how I might be able to help her, because a lot of teachers, like especially ones who stay home with their kids, they miss the social aspect of it. They miss the helping people aspect of it. They miss the adult interaction, things like that. And so I'm just curious, how she's enjoying that. She's going to be at home for a whole year, and she's not used to that. And she's like, oh, God bless, I have 2, and I feel like I'm done, but really whatever God provides. How do you enjoy homeschooling? I always consider it because the education system here is so flawed and goes all against our Christian morals. Guys, I hear this a lot. Anytime you're talking to a teacher, like I hear this from pretty much every teacher that I ever talk to. No joke. Like I don't usually talk to any teachers who say, oh my gosh, I love teaching. Like love it, love it, love it. Gonna do it the rest of my life. This is what they all say. They're tired of the system. They're tired of the red tape. They're tired of somebody else raising their kids. They're tired of raising other people's kids and not being able to raise their own. These are things I hear a lot from teachers. Like they all say the same things. And then she's interested in homeschooling. So that's where I have value to add. And so that's me. That's my brand. And that might not be you. And if it's not you, you don't try to be me. You try to be you. You brand yourself as you, but you also be very interested in people. Have conversations with people who are like you. So that's the key, is just being relational and having conversations with people. Sometimes I miss work for the social aspect, but I love being at home with my children. All right, so she's probably missing the income too. Just FYI. So I say, love homeschooling. I hear that a lot from teachers. Then I say, I do love being at home too. I have a home business that fills the social need for me, and I love it because I became a 6-figure earner in a year with this company, and I can do it from home without having to leave my children. Yet it gives me something very fulfilling to do as a woman and not just as a mom. Know what I mean? You ever feel like that? This is me planting seeds and asking her if she can relate. And then I talk about CC. Have you ever heard of it? She says, sorry, I've been busy. I've not heard of Classical Conversations. Sounds intriguing. I'm sure there's one here. And then she says, as for feeling fulfilled as a woman and not just a mom, I totally get that. It's very important to feel that way, especially as a stay-at-home mom. So that's me. I know from this comment that she would be open to what I had to share with her just based on what I've told her, okay? So I said, oh, that's fun. I love birthday parties. Do you get out much with the baby? So I'm keeping the conversation going here just by being interested in her life and asking her questions. Yeah, we get out often enough. I have a routine in place for weekly activities and outings. Do you, with 5 children? All right, so that's where I'm at with her in the process of following up with her. And that was just an example of totally cold market, not even friends with her on Facebook, never commented on any of her posts, just struck up a conversation with somebody that I thought I would have something in common with and who looked interesting that I would enjoy working with. That's what I look for. And that's how I reach out to people like that. This girl, she is another CC mom. I think we met in the CC group on Facebook, and she's been liking my posts a lot. So she's definitely a dream teamer. I reached out to her, and I just said, notice you're a dog fan, because her profile pic says dogs or something like that. And I said, I'm assuming you guys live in Georgia, because her profile didn't say. And she's like, no, we live in Oklahoma. We're Bulldog fans because of the high school team where we live. And so I was like, oh, okay. You have kids in high school? Because I'm trying to figure out, why would her profile picture be a mascot of her high school team? So I'm just asking questions, just curious, She's like, no, I have 2 in junior high at public school and 3 smaller ones that I homeschool. They're in CC. Taught public school for a while. Then I got fed up. Again, this is what they all say. I pulled the little ones out, and then I gave the older 2 the option, and they wanted to stay. I respected their opinions. So she was a teacher, got fed up with the system, and now she homeschools her younger 3. And so I'm just joking around with her. I love this girl's sense of humor, and she would be somebody I would have a lot of fun working with. So I'm like, she has 5 kids like me. So I'm like, 5 kids? Are they all yours? Just kidding. Because that's what people say. Like, if you're at the grocery store and you have a pile of kids in tow, they're always like, are those all yours? So I knew she had heard that before. So that's me relating to her, and she gets it, So I say, I have 5 kids too. And I have a gap between my older 2 and my 3 littles as well. I do homeschool all of them. We do CC. How long were you a teacher? What grade did you teach? Me being interested in her. I'm trying to dig a little deeper to figure out what her needs are. Then she talks about why she got fed up with teaching, tired of the standards, tired of the rules. She had a bad experience with one of her littles as well. Like, one of her littles got hurt, and since the kid was autistic that did it, he didn't get in trouble, so that bothered her. So then I think she started asking me about, I can't remember what she asked me next, but I sent her some voice messages. And then she talks more about why she did not like the system. And so we're just having a conversation about homeschooling, about public school, things like that. I have not said anything about Plexus. I talked to this girl a while before, and I got to know her a while before I said anything about Plexus. I think what brought Plexus up, she's talking about she wasn't a tutor. She thought homeschooling moms were going to be weird, which is a common fear. And so I'm just joking around with her about, CC moms. I'm not CC moms, but just the stereotype for homeschooling moms. I'm like, weird homeschool type. What were you thinking? Like denim jumpers and tennis shoes? Because everybody, if you're a homeschooler, you know that image. And so she's like, yeah, definitely. And so I say, well, we're just going to have to make a new homeschool stereotype. I'm just relating to her, having a friendly conversation. Plexus has not come up yet. This conversation went on for a while. Here's what she says. That's what I was thinking about yours. This is where we're talking about weird homeschool moms. She said, I was like, her kids are adorable, well-dressed, house clean, and she dresses cute. My kind of mom. Guys, this is called branding. This is so important. Branding is extremely important. This girl would not be having a conversation with me if I didn't check off all these boxes on her mental list, right? She relates to me and she's open to me because of the way I brand myself on Facebook. I'm so strategic about the way that I post. It's really important to brand yourself. And again, don't brand yourself as me. You have to figure out who you are and what value you can add, and you run with that. You be you and find people who are like you. I'm just showing you how I do it. So I say, I don't know about the house clean part, but I appreciate it. You seem like a cool person to hang out with. Wish we lived closer. I would not say this to a perfect stranger, okay? Wish we lived closer, because that would not be genuine. I'm saying this because I've been talking to this girl. We've been going back and forth a lot. She's funny, and I like her, and our kids have a lot in common, so I really do genuinely think she'd be so fun to hang out with. So then I say, do you get to go out much? Yeah, we do see things sometime. We travel a lot with my husband. I'm like, oh, we love to travel. Then she asked me, do you guys live near the ocean? Because I told her we live in coastal Georgia. She said, you guys live near the ocean. I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, we do, but I just never really went to the ocean much until recently. I went to Hawaii. So I brought up Hawaii. This is how I brought Plexus up. She said that about the beach. And so I used this opportunity to say, I never really liked the beach until I went to Hawaii. Now, suddenly, I'm a beach fan. Well, that piqued her interest. She's like, oh, I would love to go to Hawaii. She says, I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, but I haven't made it that far. Was it gorgeous? I want to take the kids to the volcanoes. Guess what? I took my kids to the volcanoes. So I shared that with her. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, it was amazing. I did take the kids last year. We went to Kona, which is where the active volcano is, and we walked on it. And then like 6 months later, it collapsed, which was kind of scary, but it was super cool, and it was a great experience for the kids. If you want to go to Hawaii, you need to come do what I'm doing, girl. I get to go for free every year and stay at the best resorts on the island. And I sent her a few pictures of me and the kids on the volcano. Then she gives me her objections. She's already seen my post, okay? I'm not scared to bring this up because she's already seen my post. This is somebody I've been interacting with on Facebook. She was cold market, but I've been commenting on her post and vice versa. And so she's like, that would be great. I know, but I'm awful at selling stuff. I'm an introvert. Plus, like 6 girls in our 2,000 person town sells Plexus. The ratio for supply and demand is a little off here. And so I handled her objections gently. Okay. I'm an introvert too. That's why I love Facebook. See how I do this very, very gently, but not pushy? Here's what I say. I live in a teeny tiny little one red light town in the middle of nowhere. I've built my business primarily on Facebook. Only a few people who have joined me are local to me. Facebook really has changed the way business is done and the way money is made. If I had to build a business with the people in this town, I would not have gotten very far. And that's a true statement because there's not many people in this town, number one. So I just handled her objections and went on a little bit. And then she asked about the ingredients. Now she wants to know about the products. So then she tells me she's got autoimmune problems. And so she's telling me all this after we've had a long conversation about homeschooling. After I've just spent time being a friend, then she opens up about her health needs, okay? So then I start talking to her about the products. I send her an ingredient list. This is me following up. Hey, Crystal, did you have a chance to check out those ingredients? Were you impressed? She says, not yet. Haven't even gotten to read your message. We had this and that. But then later, a couple hours later, she's like, I think I want to try it. Even if I tried it after Christmas. Mama is on a budget right now. Okay? So we continue talking about all the things she's involved in. This is not just Plexus only. I'm interested in her as a person, again. So after I asked questions about all the things that she was doing, then I started asking questions about her autoimmune disease. Like, how long have you dealt with that? Are you in pain a lot? And all that stuff. Okay, now, here's an example of somebody who's not interested at all, that I'm not going to push. Okay, I'm going to fill her out and ask questions just like I do everybody else, but this is a hard no. And so I'm not going to push. So, hey, Jennifer, thanks for your comment on my post. I really appreciate that. So she engaged on my post. I'm curious, what do you do? Like for work, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I also do childcare. Yes, I'm a homeschooling mom too. Do you do childcare from home? Yes, I do. Don't you do classical conversations? Yes, I do. Do you do CC too? Yes, I do. How many kids do you keep? So this is me being interested. I'm a tutor. She's a CC tutor. She loves it. She's like, when I asked her, do you love childcare from home? Most people don't. Most people do that for the money. They don't love it. I have another leader on my team who did childcare from home. She didn't love it. Plexus allowed her to not have to do that any longer, and she's glad for that. So she says, it's okay, it has its challenges, but I can't complain. It's what allows me to stay at home to homeschool. My husband and I are separated, so besides child support, it's my main income. So she's telling me what her needs are right here, okay? And I know I have something that can help her. So I say, I relate to her. Oh, wow, I've been in that situation before, too. I went through a divorce about 10 years ago. It was hard being a single mom. That's awesome. You still get to homeschool, and pretty cool, you still get to do CC because it's not cheap. If it weren't for my home business, there's no way we'd be able to do it. We have 5 kids, 2 in challenge, so I'm very thankful for that. How old are your kids? So I plant a seed, and then I ask a question about her. That's how I do it. Plant a seed, question about her. Plant a seed, question about her. That's how I do. She says, yes, kids and foundations. Somebody else paid for them to be at CC this year. That's a blessing. So then I say, based on, that's awesome. Total blessing. Based on what you've told me, you might want to check out what I'm doing. I became a top earner in my company in a year in between homeschooling my 5 kids. Such a blessing. It's pretty easy to do since I'm already on social media every day anyway. And I said that because I know she's on social media every day. So I decided to turn that into an asset for my family. I could send you some info if you're open. If not, no big deal. I'm not putting pressure on her. But here's what she says. I'm not open to doing anything like that. I keep going back to God and asking me if He wants me to do that, and the answer is always no. So glad it's worked out for you, though. You seem to do amazing with it. And so, I'm not going to push her again. So I say, I'm so grateful that God brought this opportunity for me and my family. Because when people say, well, God tells me no, then I mean, well, He told me yes. Because he's the one who's allowed me to do this. And not only that, blessed this for me and my family. And so I'm just going to dig a little bit deeper. And I'm going to say, I'm just curious. Why do you think He says no? And she says lots of reasons. That's all she says. So I just know she's already told me I'm not open. Okay, so I'm not going to waste my time here. I'm not going to keep on and on and on if she's not open. Okay, so I'll just move on to the next person. This is a green right here. All right, this is another example. What are you doing? You want to show everybody your snowflake? Titus has a snowflake. Okay. Hi, Krista. Good morning. Love seeing your posts on Facebook. You always add value, and I appreciate that. I need more of that in my news feed. Are you a stay-at-home entrepreneur? What exactly do you do? Yeah, I've kind of gotten away from Facebook a bit lately. It's so easy to be misunderstood on here because she posts some pretty controversial things, but things that I agree with. I'm a stay-at-home mom. We homeschool, working on 2 blogs, so she's entrepreneurial. Working on becoming a sewing teacher. Blogs are going to be monetized. And then she says she brings Plexus up. Okay, I didn't but she has seen my post and she's engaging on mine. So that lets me know she doesn't hate me because I'm a network marketer. She's open to it. Okay, I love your post about Plexus because I love biology. That's a green for days right there. Like if you're not green, you don't love biology. And then she says I can't afford it for sure. We're currently a single income family on a teacher's salary. I've been there, done that, right? I was a single income family. So I'm like, wow, you have so many talents and skills. Sewing is definitely a lost art. I'm validating what she's saying to me. I'm being interested in her life, all that stuff. How exciting about your blogs. Thank you for the compliment about my Plexus post. I totally get that about your one income family because that's how we were. This opportunity has completely changed our lives. Seriously, I become a top earner in the company in a year. I'm loving it. It's pretty easy to promote since everyone needs these products. And if you love biology, maybe you should check this out. Sounds like something you could be good at. Is that what I say? Something you could be passionate about. That's what I say. It may or may not be for you, but if you'd like to hear a little more about it, I would be happy to send you some info. If not, no big deal. How did you learn to sew? So this is me talking about Plexus, and then I ask a question about her. Okay, me being interested in her again. I've thought about it quite a few times. I may just try it eventually. I've always wanted to sew, blah, blah, blah. Talks about her sewing and teaching endeavors and things like that. Then I just validate what she's saying. Wow, that's awesome. I love that. You sound driven and passionate. Talk about learning. Then I say, okay, so if you've thought about trying Plexus and haven't yet, I have to ask, why not? You'd be great at it with those character qualities you have of determination and not quitting. That's me listening to her. I'm earning a 6-figure income because of those very same traits. Life-changing for sure. What makes you second-guess yourself? Then she says, yes, information does not equate wisdom, unfortunately. Well, you'd have to break my loathing for MLMs. So she's inviting me to handle her objections right here, guys. She says, you'd have to break my loathing for MLM. So that excites me because I love to break people's loathing for MLMs because I love this industry. All right. Then so I sent her some voice messages. She was pre-nursing, all this medical stuff. She's very knowledgeable. But then after I handle all of her objections gently and lovingly, then she started asking me questions about the product. So she was open to it. She did give me a lot of objections, but I handled them and just kept the conversation going. This is me following up. Hey, did you guys have a great Thanksgiving? Just wanted to check if you'd had a chance to check out that video and what your thoughts were. Then she's like, hi, Brittany. I was thinking of you as I did my eyebrows this morning. Okay, this is branding. Again, haven't been able to get to it yet. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. Then I respond to what she says, okay? And then I followed up again. She was watching the video. Haven't finished, but you do a great job of explaining. Then we start talking about her issues, okay? So that is where, these are some examples, guys, of things that I say to people, how I reach out, how I have conversations with people, how I get them interested in the business or the products. It's simply just being a friend and trying to add value to people, and not keeping your mouth shut, right? We have to be willing to open our mouths and get to know people. So I hope this helps you guys. And if you have any questions, just message me and I will be glad to help you. And I will talk to you later. Bye.